Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to the continued fallout from Hurricane Helene. Asheville in North Carolina is apparently dealing with like an active sort of humanitarian crisis. For me, hurricanes are something that happen regularly in America. Every year there's a hurricane season. But this one has been particularly devastating. Why? Was everything done, in terms of preparing and, just ensuring that everything possible was in place to minimize the damage of this? Was that actually done? Were rescue efforts initiated as quickly as they could be? I've got a lot of questions here because I think now they're saying that the fatality rate is approaching 150.
Let's bring in Asheville, North Carolina Mayor Esther Manheimer. Thank you very much, Mayor, for your time. Please do give us an update on the situation right now.
Hi, thanks for having me on. This is a catastrophic situation that we have in Asheville, an unprecedented storm event. You just looked at images of the flooding that we've experienced, rivers at an all-time historic high. Here in Asheville, we are in need of everything: water, power, communications, you name it, food, resources for folks. Major challenge getting into this area because we have 3 of our 4 main highways into this area with failures.
Wow, this is like a community. Look at this Wendy's. Wow, the water's reached up to the ceiling of this Wendy's.
So it is a dire situation. We are still in an active crisis situation.
Okay, so what would be the #1 priority? We were just hearing from residents on the ground right now that the biggest problem is lack of communications. The Wi-Fi's are down, obviously cell signals are down, and people cannot reach emergency services, let alone folks to come in and help recover from this. So what do we do to get communications back up and running?
Well, I had a call on my personal cell phone last night from the president, from Joe Biden, and they are sending us Starlink trucks to help us with communications. We are having to stand up temporary cell towers in order to improve communications. Our #1 need right now is water, drinking water, and then food behind that. And we have all sorts of folks that are here trying to get in or already here on the ground.
This amount of flooding is just insane. There's just so much water everywhere. This looks like a river, but it's not. This was like a forest or something like that.
Ready to receive help here. We have FEMA here. I've personally been in touch. I've gotten contacts from Walmart and Food Lion and other resource providers that are eager to come in here and help us, the Red Cross. And, and I want to thank everybody in our community, every volunteer, every neighbor who has been
2 million still without power. My goodness.
Working around the clock to help our community, check on their neighbors, make sure folks are okay, and try to make contact with those who are physically cut off. There are roads washed out and no communications. We can't confirm, whether people are okay in some of the areas outside the city limits that are just cut off because of road outages, bridges out, as you've seen.
This was a resident, Gregory Harrison, Asheville, North Carolina, speaking earlier today on Fox about what they're seeing.
We need people coming to help. The ability to bring in supplies, food, water are #1. Mm-hmm. Gas is #2. Cell service is #3.
Yeah.
And there's very little attention, I feel like, being paid for support crews coming in to take care of this.
Just imagine not being able to call your relatives, your mum, your sister, your dad, whoever. Just not knowing if they're still alive. Gosh.
Where is that very little attention? What was the focus of that there? Is that at the local level? Are you having a hard time at the federal level? What is the biggest challenge for you right now with getting help?
I think initially just getting to us has been a big challenge. Our state has been in constant communication with us. Our governor, Roy
It's
Cooper,
just so much water.
he will be here on the ground. I'm actually meeting him just shortly after this call. And what we are beginning to do, we are beginning to do water and food distribution, but we know we're going to exhaust the resources we have quickly. We've got others bringing resources into us. So I think things will start moving now, but I don't want anyone to relax or assume that we've got this. We need continuous support, both public and private support.
Man.
And we certainly.
This is a building that's literally, it's almost, the water's literally almost going to swallow up this entire building.
Certainly, from the state level and the federal level, there is help arriving and already here. We're going to need more of that, as well as our private partners to help us in this recovery effort. But we're still in crisis mode. I would not say we've begun recovery.
Still in crisis mode. We hear you, Mayor. This was the governor of Florida. Certainly, you have his sympathy. He was talking earlier at a press conference about your state. Listen.
As damaging as you see around here, it's important to acknowledge that they are in really dire straits right now. So what they're now facing is you can't get out of some of these communities. You can't just drive cars in. Most of the roads are impassable and people need relief. And so that's something that as Americans we should all be concerned about.
And we are all concerned, Mayor. We're with you.
They need to start flying food in, man. I'm hoping this is obviously happening right now, but get the helicopters, get planes in, start bringing in food in bulk, food, water, all of that stuff, man. Get it in there. Like, the money is there. Spend it. Do what you need to do. And
that was the governor of Florida referencing North Carolina and how bad you all have it there. It's hard to wrap our minds when we're not on the ground there, just how bad this is to get that water to folks who are in some of these badly isolated areas right now. So give us your final thoughts here on what the coming hours look like and your goals in the coming hours and the coming days, and where you see all this heading next.
Well, first, let me just say our first responders have been amazing. They're working around the clock, our firefighters and our officers and all of the...
How do you get rid of all of this water? Because you can't pump it out. This is like, we're looking at millions of gallons of water here. Do you just wait for it to recede, to move on, or what?
Folks from around the country that are coming in to help us provide additional services to do that search and rescue you're seeing, to make sure we're locating everybody and making sure they're all safe. That's a number one priority. And then food and water resources. That is what we have to focus on right now, today. I'm looking across the way at City Hall, and we are beginning that water distribution in the center of town. That effort needs to continue and needs to grow.
Well, we expect to get another update from the governor here shortly. Says people are in desperate need of help. We're pushing to get to them, and we know that is a major challenge still right now. Mayor, appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to work. We appreciate everything you're doing for your residents there.
Man.
We'll turn to the flooding disaster in the South now, with many in hard-hit North Carolina now facing a desperate challenge, finding essentials like food and water, while some still wait for word on loved ones. Sam Brock is there.
Tonight, the crises in western North Carolina are too many to count, with access to a basic life force, water, at the top of the list.
Behind you right now is this effort to disseminate water. How critical is it for families like yours?
It's very critical. Yeah.
I mean, we got a baby. He eats oatmeal. He's a priority for us.
Is it a lifeline right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parents and loved ones coming to one of 4 community sites where supplies are slowly trickling in and neighbors stepping up. But complications abound. All 3 water treatment plants in Asheville are compromised, with the pipes to distribute the water washed away.
You don't realize how thirsty you are, you're at home and you flip your faucet on, just drink out of the sink or flush the toilet, brush your teeth, you have to spit in your sink. And
we take it for granted, for sure. We do. It's times like this where you need it and you can't use it that you really feel, its absence.
You have to use your good water to rinse your sink out.
With other area locals largely cut off from aid, frustration with FEMA reaching a boiling point of its own.
There's no water, there's no internet, there's no food.
The agency says it's already delivered 1 million liters of water and 600,000 meals to North Carolinians and promises more on the way. Tonight, the treacherous wait continues, though, for those missing.
Many people were waiting for days trying to get in touch with loved ones, and thankfully, many of them have.
On the ground, shelters are teeming.
We do not have the resources available.
With 75-year-old Cynthia Dunn, who survived the rushing waters clinging to a mattress, one of the lucky ones with temporary shelter.
Everything's gone. My identity's gone. And I hate to say my hearing aids. I lost my teeth.
Other displaced residents wait in long lines at gas stations and grocery stores for necessities. Catrice Goodrum picking up some essentials.
I read a story about a gas station, a petrol station, that had doubled the price of the gasoline that they were selling. I mean, I'm sorry, like that kind of price gouging should be illegal. It should be illegal. Come on, can't be doing things like that. Did any of you guys read that story?
Tells us how she's charging her father's oxygen machine in the car. He's on dialysis, and her pain is many families.
We've been very blessed and very fortunate. It was just me passing by and seeing that his dialysis clinic was open. But everybody doesn't have the ability to ride by.
Yeah. Sam, your heart just goes out for these folks. We have talked throughout all this about communities that are simply you can't get to because they're remote, but I understand you're getting into some of them now.
Yeah, look, Lester, we're finally in the outer reaches of Buncombe County after the interstate opened up. And Lester helps to explain how the death toll here in this county went from 40 to 57. Look at this car over my shoulder flipped up. That is not from a tornado, but rushing water. Expect more scenes like these in the days to come.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, Sam, thanks.
Wild.
And in neighboring Tennessee, the tragedy is still unfolding for families of people missing. Survivors saying the warnings about the flooding came too late. Kathy Park has their stories.
Tonight, a desperate plea from families in Irwin, Tennessee, as they enter a 5th day with no updates on their loved ones.
5th day with no news. I'd be in pieces. I'd be in bits, man. It's got to be horrible, not knowing.
Several still missing in Unicoi County are Latino and worked at Impact Plastics, including Fernando Ruiz's mother, Lydia. There is hope, but a lot of time has passed. Today, families growing more frustrated with the recovery efforts and the disconnect from day one of this disaster. A county spokesperson admitting to the shortcomings in their emergency response.
I was not aware that there was a Latin American community here. That was a failure on our part, for which I apologize.
The governor surveying the devastation today and responding.
Is that a road? Is this a bridge? How did the bridge collapse?
To the heartache.
Did the state do enough to prepare the residents for a catastrophe like this?
It's hard to imagine preparation for something that's never happened.
The nightmare isn't over for Robert Jarvis, who captured the water rising all around him as he tried to escape the plastic factory with his co-workers.
It was too late when we got our warnings.
The company insists they told employees to leave. Witnessing the panic, Eric Castellon and Ronald Kell jumped into action, saving Robert and others.
If me and Eric didn't do it, and a couple of my other associates didn't do what we did, they all would have been dead.
And the disaster stretches all across East Tennessee, where entire roads and bridges have washed away, cutting off residents. The only way to reach them is by foot.
At the height of the storm, more than 1.2 million gallons of water per second flowed over the Nolichucky River. That's more than the daily peak flow at Niagara Falls. Officials say the priority right now is to recover bodies before they can rebuild. Lester?
All right, Kathy, thank you. Wow. Thanks for watching.
Wow. I mean, I still have questions here. So, okay, here we go. So, Biden defends government response as Hurricane Helene. You can't read certain things, otherwise it get in trouble. Reaches 130. The toll from a storm in the southeastern U.S. reached 130 on Monday, sparking election campaign tensions. The White House dismissed criticism of its response. President Biden will visit North Carolina on Wednesday. So this was issued yesterday. Hundreds still missing across several southeastern US states, and the toll climbing. Biden announced he would travel to storm-ravaged North Carolina Wednesday to monitor rescue efforts. He also accused Donald Trump of spreading lies. You see, it's becoming a bit of a political battleground, which is just not what you want to see. You want every effort, every bit of time and energy to be spent finding the people, getting food and water. This should not become political point scoring. Biden accused of sleeping. Oh dear. We're not going to talk about politics now. Scientists say climate change likely plays a role in the rapid intensification of hurricanes because there is more energy in warmer oceans for them to feed on. I see. So climate change potentially. It's just sad. Honestly, the situation is just so dire. Like not having drinking water is just something that we here in the Western world, we just completely take for granted. You know, you go to the tap, you know that clean water is it's gonna flow out of the tap. So to not have it, not to be able to, you know, drink and prepare food for your kids, you know, food, man, people in that region, like, it's just, you know, stay strong. Let me know how you're doing. It's just, I'm trying to think, maybe I'll set up some kind of fundraiser. Like, it's sad to see what's going on there. Hopefully, you know, by the end of today, you know, significant amounts of water, clean water, food, you know, and communications is restored as well, because I think that will make a big difference. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy my videos, please help me out by liking and subscribing.